What's up, guys? It's Coach Cam, and I want to offer you guys a new perspective on the topic of exercise selection. So, you've probably heard so many countless advices when it comes to exercise selection. You should choose exercises that lengthen the muscle, you should choose exercises that really contract the muscle in a shortened position, you should choose stable exercises like machines. No, actually, you should choose free weights because that's more transfer to the real world and having some instability. You should use resistance bands. You should use dumbbells. There's all kinds of advices when it comes to exercise selection. And the point that I want to make today and drive home with logic and reasoning is that the exercise you choose to take your muscles to failure and stimulate muscle growth really, in the grand scheme of things, is not going to matter that much. It's not going to make that big of a difference what exercise you chose to increase the size of a muscle on your body, because ultimately what your goal is to take the muscle to a point of momentary muscular failure or just muscular failure, whatever you want to call it, and you want to get your muscle taken to that environment. So any exercise that challenges your muscles function, say we're talking biceps, say that's elbow flexion, right? Any exercise that performs a really hard elbow flexion throughout the exercise, and when you yourself, when performing it, put forth the most effort possible, and you're gritting your teeth and you're grinding out that last rep at the very end of the set, that point that you have reached, when you reach that muscle failure and you cannot move the weight anymore in a positive direction, you know you stimulated the muscle to the best of your ability, right? It doesn't matter if you chose cable curls or inclined cable curls on a bench or barbell curls, right? Or alternating dumbbell curls. None of that is, even if you had to use a resistance band, at the end of the day, if you yourself are able to push your training as hard as possible, the end results are the same, right? The most you can get is 100% muscle stimulation from a training set or within an entire workout, right? So that is the most you can achieve, and any exercise really that puts your muscle under tension and that you, the trainee, right, the person contracting your muscles, if you can contract them as hard as possible, you can get that environment created with almost any equipment, right? So this is perfect for personal trainers because you don't have to have state-of-the-art $1 million gym equipment. You could quite literally have a pair of dumbbells or a barbell, something like that, and you can get very, very, very good results with it if you yourself know how to push yourself very hard and target the muscles of your body. Most people don't know how to do that, right? Most people haven't taken anatomy courses. They haven't taken biology or let alone gotten a bachelor's or a master's degree in exercise science. People don't know their bodies that well enough to push themselves hard with less equipment, right? So for that person, it would be a good idea for you to hire a personal trainer, someone like myself, who can virtually take you through exercises and coach you to pushing yourself to get the most out of your training. And now if you're somebody that needs a little more help and you don't want to try personal training, but you're going to a commercial gym, that's where machines are really good, a really good option for you to choose from, right? You have the machines for basically every major muscle group in your body. There's a machine that will target those muscles. Now, all you have to do is adjust the machine's seat height and the arm lengths and different settings that are on the machines just to tweak it to your body and write that down so you know what settings to put the machine on. And that way you know next time when you use that machine, hey, I used it at these settings with this weight and my set took this long and I got this many reps, right? And with that, you can target your muscles without having to think as much about it, right? The machine says chest press machine. You know the target muscle is the chest. You don't have to put as much thought behind it maybe, but you still have to put in 100% effort, right, to get the 100% stimulus of your muscles, which is what you're going for, right? That's muscle failure or muscle success, whatever you want to call it. So my goal in this video is to help you guys understand that arguing with people on the internet about exercise selection, oh, well, you should choose the RDL instead of the conventional deadlift. Oh, you should choose the hip thrust machine over the barbell hip thrust, over, you should choose the hack squat over squats. You should choose this machine over that and this modality over that. All of those arguments are nonsense. Even to the point where it's like the lengthened position for triceps, the shortened position, biceps, whatever, all that stuff, it is nonsense. Why? Because any of those exercises, if somebody trains them hard enough, they will get 100% muscle stimulation, and they will and can grow from those exercises. Going back to the example of biceps, I could go up to my dining room table and I could sit in the chair like I'm going to eat breakfast, and instead put my arms underneath the table, and then I could flex my biceps isometrically against this table for 1 to 2 minutes, right? As hard as I could until my biceps were completely exhausted and weakened severely by contracting them. That would be just as effective as barbell curls, just as effective as dumbbell curls or cable curls. It's all just as effective provided you can train as hard as possible. So remember, the stimulus is not the exercise you chose, right? The stimulus is contracting skeletal muscle unto exhaustion. That is the stimulus. Now, if you're going to hold back and hold reps in reserve or not push yourself as hard, or maybe you're just new to training and it's difficult, right? It's uncomfortable to push yourself very hard. Then you might benefit from doing a second set, right? People are doing multiple sets for most exercises anyway. Usually it's really just because tradition and because other people have said that's a good idea. But the reason that's prevailed for so long is because nobody's thought to question, what if I trained harder in one set? Like, what if I could exhaust my muscle fibers in one set? Which I'm telling you that you can, and unless you didn't already know that. So you can push yourself harder and get to that environment in one set. It's very, very challenging, but it can be done. And it can be done with a wide variety of exercises. So don't pigeonhole yourself and think, I have to do this exercise. This is the best one. Powerlifters are the strongest people on earth, so therefore I have to bench press. Well, no. If you use a chest press machine and you progress over time, you're getting stronger and you're getting bigger. So you don't have to pigeonhole yourself and pick some exercise that some other guy told you was the best ever exercise. There is no best ever. There is no perfect exercises. As long as you yourself are contracting your muscles as hard as possible during the exercise and unto exhaustion, you will get the most stimulation possible. Okay? So just keep that in mind. So exercise selection as a whole, it's really up in the air and debatable. There are really small changes and tweaks that you can make. There's some exercises that may be a little bit better than others, right? Would I choose seated cable rows or resistance band rows, right? Well, we know with a resistance band row that when you're lengthening your arms, you're losing tension on the resistance band, right? It's shortening, it's not as stretched, and it's not giving you as much resistance. So that would be a clear indication that resistance band training is a lot inferior, right? It's largely inferior to using free weights that have tension across the entire muscle throughout the entire range of motion, right? So it's up to you to figure all this stuff out, or you can hire a coach or learn more about it yourself. But ultimately, any exercise that you can perform that puts a target muscles under stress and that you will hit muscular failure in 1 to 2 minutes, challenging that muscle's function, you can get muscle growth from it, right? So hopefully you guys learned something from this video. Any comments, leave them down below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much.